Today, I made a human error, a mistake, something that could have been very bad for my account. Very huge. It could have been huge. It could have been very bad. But I'm going to talk about what happened, why it happened, the emotion of how it happened, and everything that happened today, and how I almost lost a nice chunk of my account. So I'm going to talk about that here in this video. Talking about futures, trading the micro E-minis today. Let's go. Well, I learned a good lesson today, my friends. A very valuable lesson. Now, I'm used to trading penny stocks, really just crappy stocks. Stocks that normally when they get really overextended, they're going to pull back, right? They're just going to pull back. It's going to happen. When they get really overextended, you're going to get that pullback. But what I've learned today, or I've kind of seen this before, is that with the market, when the market makes a big move to the upside, it doesn't mean that it's going to pull back right away. And it's also this idea like just because it's up big doesn't mean you could short it for the pullback. Maybe I just repeated myself, but what I'm trying to get across here is that the fact of, for futures, a big move to the upside does not mean that you could get short for the pullback. Today was a great lesson in that. And let's take a look here at what went down. So today, this morning I was sitting here, I was like, I'm going to buy the dip, right? This is like a beautiful support area. We got the EMAs. I'm going to buy the dip. And I missed out. I just did not get filled. It pulled back, and I wasn't ready, didn't get filled. And then it popped right back up. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to wait. And then it started going higher and higher and higher. And at that point, the EMA was like down here more. So I'm thinking, well, there's a good chance that it's going to pull back, right? There's a good chance here that we're going to get a pullback. I mean, it's up big. And so I started adding short. I was like, well, we're going to get a pullback, and then I'll get in long again, right? So I started adding short. And you can see it kind of just went full on tilt there because I was just adding short because we kept squeezing, going higher and higher. And I was like, man, this thing's going to pull back. It's going to pull back. It's going to be beautiful. Well, it ended up pulling back basically to my break-even point. At that point, I got out for a $12 loss, and I was like, okay, I'm going to stay away from it now, and then I'm going to see what happens. And we kind of started to get some support here, so I ended up jumping back in and ended up getting in there for this little pop back up. And you can see now it's actually popping there above the 234 area. So I only ended up walking away with $5 after the $12 loss and then getting back to green. And I'm not going to push my luck at this point. I think this is a really, really good learning, I don't want to say learning experience, but a good lesson to learn here that with the SPY, with the overall market, you can't just start shorting because it's overextended. It's going to go pull back. At one point, I was down like $100. I kept holding, thinking we're going to still get that pullback. We ended up getting a small pullback back to my break-even point, but this really was just not conducive to growing an account. You just can't short. And I think what really comes down to is if you miss out on your entry, you're like, okay, this is my entry. You're down here at the 229 area. I want to get long. You can't just think, okay, later on, I'm going to get short now. You got to stick to the plan. If you miss out on it, you got to wait for the next opportunity. This was the opportunity. You can see we went from 229 up there to 234. So that's a 5-handle move. For a 3-contract move on 5 handles, that's $75 in profit. And you can see the big difference here, only making $5 now. This could have been a lot worse. I guess I could be making a video right now talking about how I lost $100 or I'm red. But instead, I'm going to end up just kind of green on the day here. But really, this can't happen. You can't go from having a plan, okay, I'm going to get long at this point, and then all of a sudden, okay, I'm going to get short up here for no real reason. And you can see I kind of was like, okay, we got the sell-off on this candle. Maybe this is kind of an area we'll kind of roll off. But just not a good plan there, Patrick. So there it is. Learning a lesson today. Lessons are always being learned, right? Lessons are always being learned. But you can see this entry here on that dip there at the 223 area. Now it's pushing up there at 234. That was another good entry as we pulled back and kind of found that support and then bounced back. So really just got to be patient. It cannot just change your idea or your bias just because you missed out on a move. And like I said, I'm used to trading, penny stocks, low float stuff where you get that big pop, you can get short, and 99% of the time you're going to get that pullback, So I got to get that out of my mindset, the mindset of, okay, the market's going higher. Oh, I'm going to short, and then I'm looking for a pullback, and I don't get it. So really just got to focus on consistency here, focus on patience, and focus on, not doing stupid things. This morning, definitely did something stupid by having a long bias here for that buy, missing the buy, and then all of a sudden thinking I'm going to get short, which you can see now it's up there to 234.50. So clearly was not the right idea. Luckily, I got out for a small loss, and then luckily I was able to get just a quick little buy here and get that push to get back to green on the day. So baby steps, Patrick, baby steps. So there it is. If you guys haven't already, do me one favor, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and all the buttons somewhere. Just hit them all. Hit every button except for the dislike button. I'll talk to you guys later on.